We're covering uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, often called and UIM, a critical topic on the National Property and Casualty exam. This is Part C of the personal auto policy, and it's designed to protect you, the insured, not the at-fault driver. Let's start with the fundamental difference. Uninsured motorist, or coverage, applies when you're hit by a driver who has no liability insurance at all. It also applies in a hit-and-run situation where the at-fault driver cannot be identified. For exam purposes, think of a hit-and-run driver as an uninsured driver. The trigger for coverage is the absence of insurance on the part of the at-fault driver. Now, underinsured motorist, or UIM coverage, is different. It applies when the at-fault driver has insurance, but their liability limits are insufficient to cover the full extent of your bodily injuries. The trigger here is not the absence of insurance, but the inadequacy of it. For example, if your medical bills are $80,000, but the at-fault driver only carries the state minimum liability limit of $25,000, your UIM coverage would then step in. The core purpose of both coverages is to protect the insured from financial loss due to the negligence of another driver who is not financially responsible. A major focus on the exam is that and UIN primarily cover bodily injury. You'll see terms like uninsured motorist bodily injury, or UMBI. This pays for medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering for you and your passengers. While some states offer uninsured motorist property damage, or UMPD, many do not, and for the exam, you should know that damage to your own vehicle from an uninsured driver is often covered under your own collision coverage, though you would have to pay your deductible. The most common exam trap with this topic involves the UIM payout calculation. Test questions will give you a scenario and ask how much your UIM policy will pay. Here's a typical example. You have UIM limits of $100,000. You are in an accident caused by another driver, and your medical bills total $75,000. The at-fault driver has bodily injury liability limits of $50,000. Their insurance pays their policy limit of $50,000. How much will your UIM coverage pay? Your UIM coverage will pay the difference between your total damages and the at-fault driver's payment, up to your limit. In this case, it's $75,000 in damages, minus the $50,000 received, which equals $25,000. Your UIM policy pays the remaining $25,000. A common mistake is to simply subtract the other driver's limit from your UIM limit. The key is that UIM covers the gap between the at-fault driver's coverage and the actual damages sustained, up to the UIM limit. Remember, this coverage is for you. Liability coverage, Part A, pays for the other guy. and UIM, Part C, pays for you and your passengers when the other guy can't. Here's a simple way to keep them straight for the exam. Uninsured has an N for no insurance. Underinsured has a U for under enough insurance. So uninsured means no insurance, and underinsured means under the limit needed to cover your injuries. This simple phrase can help you quickly distinguish between the two concepts when you're under pressure during the exam. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.